What's going on, Broken Army? Broken Prophet here. Welcome back to the vlog. Here is hoping that the start of your weekend has been absolutely amazing. Mine has been. Let me tell y'all about my weekend. So I woke up today and, well, there was this thing that me, my grandma, granddad, brother, and sister used to do every Saturday morning religiously. We would wake up, pile into my granddad's car. He had one of those big old school box Crown Vics. We go pick up my grandmother's friend, Miss Bessie. Yeah, that's how Miss Bessie. We go pick her up, and we would ride around to yard sales. And I mean, besides the fact that we were just all together, it was just fun to go and see just other people's junk. But to us, they were treasures, right? And we would go and ride around. We would eat lunch. Well, first we'd eat breakfast, ride around, eat lunch, ride around some more, then go back home. And then at the end of the day, we look at all the treasures. And at the time, I thought my grandma was spending like bank on us, but in reality, it was like what 50 cents, 25 cents, $1 at the most. But it was amazing to us. And so I got up this morning and did the same thing. Went to flea market and had a blast. Got a couple of things here. Got another Bethlehem you can never have. Look at it. Look, you can never, when you're doing this work, you can never have too many Bethlehems. Never. Got a nice little bowl here for spiritual baths. I'm going to tell y'all a story about spiritual baths and a couple of other things. And I just loved it. I loved it so much, guys, that guess what? Besides the stuff that I picked up a spot for myself. I'm gonna try it out. Let's see what it's gonna do. I'm gonna try it out. Take Hoodoo back to the streets. I picked up a little booth next week. So if you're gonna be in the South Georgia area next Sunday, I'll be in the Lake Park, Georgia flea market. If you go down there, there's only one big flea market. You'll see me down there. All right, I'll be there from like 1 to 5 or something like that. But anyway, come on down, come see me, buy some stuff. But anyway, I mean, good day, feeling great. I mean, boy was looking good, smelling good. I was in a good mood. I could dance all night long. But my partying days are behind me now. They are behind me. So I decided, you know what? Why not come on here and talk to y'all? For everybody who came to the last webinar, really enjoyed it. Thank y'all so much. And I asked, what would you guys want the next webinar to be on? And a lot of people said altars. And I gave it a lot of consideration. I did. But then I thought that would be one, it would be a really short webinar once you hear what I'm about to say. And two, even though I only charge $10, I want y'all to get y'all's money worth. And trust me, once I say what I have to say about altars, you're gonna be like, oh man, shoot, we should have picked something else. So here's your opportunity. I decided let's do a video on altars gratis for free. Because I really don't think people really understand what an altar is and why it's I don't know. We can just rap a taste about it right now. Oh man. Okay. Before we get into altars, let me tell y'all these stories about spiritual baths. And it's what buying this bowl. Show y'all my bowl again. But buying this bowl is what made me think about this. So I used to, have people come to the house all the time. Told y'all a bunch of stories about that. And sometimes, during the course of like say a reading or whatever, a person needed a cleansing. And you can do cleansing a bunch of ways. And so sometimes it's a bath. Now, when I prepare a spiritual bath for you, I am preparing the bath for you. Then I give it to you. You take it home and then you bathe. I give you instructions. But for some reason, that was not always understood. Was not always understood. I don't know where y'all going for this stuff to happen, but I'm gonna tell you. So a young lady came by the house, and and stuff like this is why now I always make sure there's a woman present. So he came by the house, and okay, yeah, you definitely need a cleansing. I'm going to prepare a bath for you, and I'm like, just wait right here. I'll be back in about an hour. Well, not an hour. I told her I'll be back in like 15 minutes or whatever, and I told her if she wanted to go just kicking around town for an hour and come back, then that'd be fine. I'll have the bath ready for her. She said, "No, I'll wait." I said, "Okay, cool." So I went to the other room where I have like my things and whatnot, and I'm preparing the bath or whatnot. And this one was just dry stuff. Sometimes I'll actually like use my bowl with some water, flow the water, rum, whatever, and tear the herbs up. But this one fairly simple. I just put some herbs together, and was going to give her instructions to just boil it like tea, let it cool off, add it to a tub of water, boom, bingo bango, right? How about I came back to the living room where I had left her while I was old girl butt booty naked. Straight up, naked as a jaybird, naked as the day she was born. Now, I will say, I did know that she was a dancer. I don't know. It could have been ballet. I don't know. I just know she's a dancer. And so maybe she was comfortable naked. But I was not comfortable with being naked. It was a shock. It was such a shock. I walked in to my own living room and I said the two shortest prayers known to man. If y'all don't know, there are two very short prayers. I walked in, looked at her, and I said, Lord, have mercy. Immediately followed with the second short prayer, which is, man, God. And she's like, what, private? You said you're gonna give me a bath. I'm like, ma'am, here, take your bag. Take your bag. I ain't even look. Don't get me the line. It ain't Sunday, but still I ain't my y'all might peeked a little bit. Just peeked just a little bit. But anyway, she got dressed, took her bath, and I don't know where y'all going. Or y'all think people are washing y'all's tails. Even if you're like in an African traditional religion and someone is giving you a spiritual bath, they're just pouring it. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. But honestly, that's not the first time that has happened. It's at the point now where I'm just like, just go and it'll be in the mailbox. It'll be in the mailbox. But give me your address. I will mail it to you. And then, nope, nope, nope. That happened several times. So I don't know. The second instance was not like this. Not like this. This was an older lady. Not like Mima old, but oh, kind of up there. No, I say she's about 60. She's about 60. Older lady took care of herself though, and I told her that for her particular instance, she needed a foot washing. Now, I told her, I reiterated, I am going to give you a foot washing. I will be putting your feet into a basin with roots and herbs as a cleanser. Are you okay with that? She said, yeah. The reason why I reiterate, of course, you want to let people know what the process is so that they're comfortable, but also let them know, listen, your foots is going to be out. Handle business. It's kind of like when you going to the doctor to get a physical, you make sure you right. You make sure you're right. So I'm like, make sure. So all right. So her appointment time came. She's at the house. I got the basin ready. Got the herbs and stuff in the water. Make sure the water is a decent temperature, so you're not trying to freeze people's toes off. She sits down, and of course, I'm lower than she is because I'm washing her feet. And I'm like, okay, you can take your shoes off and put your feet in the bowl, right? Man, I swear, I, eh, I them toes came out that comfortable looking shoes, and oh man, I'm talking about you know, t- like throwing up gang signs and all kinds of whatnot. But hey, I'm a godly man. I'm a godly man. They go into the water, and the process takes like what 5 minutes, if that, or whatnot. Supposed to take 5 minutes. This took longer because I noticed her feet was moving around. I'm like saying to myself, I'm like, dang it, dang it, keep your feet in one spot. And then at one point, a foot came up out the water, and it was like right. And I didn't think because I'm praying and doing stuff. I'm not thinking why is she putting her foot up on my. I look up at her. big old grin. Y'all, how about it reminded me of that Eddie Murphy movie, Boomerang. Yes. Old girl was trying to earth the kid me, y'all. She was trying to mock his darling me. I'm like, man, no, ma'am, no. And I mean, she was like, "Oh, come on, prophet." And then, the, you know, I'll just say the knees did not stay together. Okay, I did not look, but I dang me, mom. Like, no, no, no. And I was like, ma'am, this is about respect, blah blah blah. Then she's like, prophet, I'm so sorry. I know now you're a godly man. I know now you're a godly man. I'm like, yes, that's why I'm turning you down because I'm a godly man. Absolutely. We are gonna go with that. We are gonna go with that. So yeah, yeah. Those my y'all. It's wild out here. It's wild out here. But anyway, let's get into these altars, man. I'm done playing with y'all. Let's get into these altars. So, guys, to be honest, if you read the Bible, there are altars all through it. And so many people have asked me, well, how do I do an ancestor altar? Or how do I do an altar for this spirit? Or how do I do an altar for money? And I tell you, but I still think that I don't know. A lot of folks do not want to admit that the vast majority of their spiritual expectation stems from Hollywood. I say it, a lot of other folks say it, but y'all be like, oh no, not me, prophet. Oh no, no. Y'all have a lot of expectations based off of what you've seen in movies or read in books. Because an altar is very simply put a space where you know a spirit is going to be. So I think a lot of times we overthink it. We think altar and we think hocus pocus booga booga, but in reality, it is just a space where we know that spirit is going to be. It is a space dedicated to that particular spirit or whatever energy it is that I'm working with. So, let me break it down for you. Excuse me. When you read the Bible and altars were dedicated to God, dedicated. That altar was there specifically for that purpose. I'm not eating grits on that altar. I'm not playing spades with the family on that space. That space is dedicated for that particular purpose. So, when you are constructing an altar for a spirit, it is so simple. If it is for a spirit, you want to have water on there. Number one, I don't care if it's your ancestors, High John, whomever. If it is an altar for a spirit, you want to have water on there. Why? Because water is the medium through which a spirit goes from that plane to ours, and vice versa. So you put the water there to facilitate them coming over, helping us out, and then going back because they can't dwell here. Just like we can't dwell there unless we go into that upper room. So you want to have water there, right? Simple. Now, the other thing you want to have is a candle. Now, a lot of people have asked me before, and they have asked me, does it have to just be a fire candle, or can we use an electric battery power candle? And me being such a traditionalist, I've always said, no, no, it's gotta be fire. But I do understand that there are times when we are not able to actually have fire. Maybe we're living with someone else. Maybe we we are locked in a facility of higher learning and we can't have fire. So, use what you have. Now, here is the part that I don't think a lot of people, if y'all have heard this before, y'all let me know in the comment section. But when you look at my altars or any legitimate altar, the water and the candle are going to be in the back. Now, it's not facing a particular direction, just whichever way you are oriented, because I have altars around the wall. So if you're facing this one, the water and the candle are going to be in the back. If you're facing that one, water and the candle in the back. Because for some reason, And I know we're getting into some quantum physics, some other kind of stuff, but spirits always enter from that direction. I don't care which way you're facing, that's the way they enter your altar. I don't know why. I just know after 30 plus years that that is what happens. Even in traditions where ritualized possession or mountings happen, you will hear a lot of mediums, a lot of people who get mounted say the spirits enter from the back. For some reason, y'all dirty, but for some reason, when I every time I've gone to like a misa or something where there's a real medium and a spirit has come down, they always kind of jerk forward. I've never seen somebody get mounted and it's like they're blown back. They always jerk forward, like the spirit boop, comes from the back. So they always enter from that area. So you always want to have the water back there to facilitate them coming forward. Now, the reason for the candle is quite simple. If you've ever been some outside at night in the summertime and the street lights were on, that same street light that we had to make sure we were home by the time it came on, what's around it? A lot of bugs, gnats, bats, whatever. Light attracts. Now, the purpose of the candle on the altar is that very same thing. Remember, I told y'all it's really simple. Is to attract. It's like a beacon. See, spirits, though they are higher than us, they're still lower than the creator, significantly lower than the creator. Just a step above us, but a lot lower than him. So they are still bound by certain constraints. Not as many as us, but still certain constraints as far as time, space, things like that. So they're not always going to be there. Not always. So you light the candle as a beacon, a signal flare. Whenever they needed Batman, what did they do? Right. Boop, boop, there it was. Shine that light. Batman on the way. It's the same thing for an altar. When you light that candle and you have those offerings there, because the offerings are going near the front, offerings that that spirit, that entity likes, the candle is there as like a signal. Boop, it's here. Come here. That's why I don't necessarily have candles lit all the time. Mostly when I need for that particular entity, spirit, energy, whatever to be present right there. Okay. And of course, like I said, the offerings and everything go in the front. Now, now here's something I don't think anyone has ever told you. If I am not working with the spirit, if I'm only working with an energy, like say the energy of money, I don't have water because that type of energy is present all the time. So I don't there's nothing to come through into this plane. The energy of money is already here. So I don't have water on say a love altar or say a money altar. I mean, I'm sorry. Yes, water on a love altar or a money altar. Just the candle, because at that point, the candle is focusing that energy right there. Could y'all imagine if you pay $10 for something I can explain just like that? Just like that? So, and I also want you guys to get out of the habit of thinking that there's this huge consecration process for everything. Just build the dadgum thing. If the reason a money altar is so effective is because you have put things that symbolize money right there, lit a candle, and when you look at it, you should be focused on money. You are creating a vortex where all the money energy in the world is concentrated right there. So when you do your money workings at that money altar, there's already a strong energy of money present right there. When you do an ancestor altar, you've got the signal flare lit, the candle, you've got the water through which they can show up, you've got offerings that they would find pleasing. It's there. There's no need to, oh my goodness. Oh, grandmama, I've got these things consecrated with you. Y'all got the price of Florida water at an all-time high, wanting to wipe everything down. I swear to I swear to you. Y'all Anyway, we just gonna move right along. An altar can be anywhere. It can be on a coffee table. It can be on an end table. It can be in a shoebox that you put up, do your work, take down. Because you're sending out a signal flare. It does not have to be at one location all the time. It doesn't. It can be moved, it can be touched. You just want to keep the energy consistent by the types of offerings, the things you put there, and your energy. Remember, well, I don't know if I said this on in a video or whether it's in a webinar, but I know I've said several times in a video that if you're working for money, you want to be money minded, not lacking, not thinking about bills, not thinking about foreclosures, not thinking about stuff getting cut off, wrong ingredients. You want to be thinking about money. The same thing with love. If you're at a love altar, don't dampen that energy by sitting there shedding tears, crying, boohoo, and snot running down your face. No, you want to be at the energy of love. So when you go to those altars, make sure the energy is there. Because I remember I did say this in the webinar. The universe speaks off of energy. That is the universal language. It is not English. So if y'all out there talking to your roots and herbs, telling what you want to do, y'all got it all wrong. No, you communicate with the energy of that you're using them for. Okay. All right. So with that being said, guys, get your altars up. Make sure that you're there consistently because that's how you're programming it. Make sure you're calling out to them, and you'll be able to see that one, the spirits don't stay there. They come and they go. Look for the bubbles in the water. Look for unexplained murkiness. Look for the water being drained from it, and give them some rest. Turn the lights off. By lights, I mean candles. Turn them off and call them back. Sometimes turn on the lights just to give them stuff without asking for anything because you're building a relationship. And I know a lot of times nowadays we've forgotten how to build relationships because all we doing is swiping left and right and somebody messages back and well, that's my girlfriend now. No, build a relationship, learn how to hold a conversation, speak to them, listen to what it is you get back, and there you go. So well, see, shoot, we got this out the way in like 15 minutes, right? Shoot. All right, so I want everyone, if you got some value from this video, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, and make sure you share it to your friends. I'm trying to get this thing up. Like we gonna get real hoodoo back on the map, real hoodoo back on the map. Oh yeah, and run them donations. Thank you so much to everyone who has. I'm gonna have the list next live and next video because I told you we getting back to that. And with that being said, make sure you guys check the community section because in exactly 1 hour, I'm going to post some ideas for the next webinar and whatever is leading by shoot, you know what, by this time tomorrow, that is what the next webinar is going to be. And I'm going to open up registration next go round. Next go round. What? This time tomorrow. All right, y'all. I am about to get some work done. And with that being said, thank you so much for listening to me rant. Check out the podcast, the Hoodoo and Haints podcast. We're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Google Podcasts, we're on Spotify and iHeartRadio. All right. So make sure you check me out. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I loved it as much as I always do. Hopefully, you guys did too. Profit out.